How would you like to see a former president of the United States of America absolutely crush Muhammad in just 2 sentences? Sound too good to be true? Well, former President Barack Obama just declared war on Prophet Muhammad without even realizing it. Let's take a look at what Mr. Obama said and how it destroys Islam. BBC News reports. Speaking at a private event on leadership, Mr. Obama said while in office he had mused what a world run by women would look like. Now women, I just want you to know, you are not perfect. That's rude. But what I can say, pretty indisputably, is that you're better than us, men. I'm absolutely confident that for 2 years, if every nation on earth was run by women, you would see a significant improvement across the board on just about everything. Living standards and outcomes. We have 2 important claims here. 1, women are indisputably better than men. 2, if every nation on earth were run by women for just 2 years, we would see a significant improvement in almost every area. Needless to say, scholars around the world are praising Obama for his honesty. For instance, the Brain Trust over at ABC said they can't think of anyone who would disagree with Obama's statements about women.
Former President Obama was in Singapore talking about leadership and said, quote, I'm absolutely confident that for 2 years, if every nation on earth was run by women, you would see a significant improvement across the board on just about everything. I don't know anybody who disagrees with that.
So we have a consensus that women are better than men, and that if women ruled every country on the planet, things would get better across the board. This is a savage attack on Islam, one that threatens to unravel the delicate alliance between leftists and Muslims. How is this an attack on Islam? Let's take a quick look at what Muhammad said about women ruling countries. Sahih al-Bukhari, 7099. Narrated Abu Bakr, during the battle of Al-Jamal, Allah benefited me with a word I heard from the Prophet. When the Prophet heard the news that the people of Persia had made the daughter of Khosrow their queen, ruler, he said, never will succeed such a nation as makes a woman their ruler. A nation that has a woman as its leader will never succeed. He's the Prophet. He would know. If he says that a female leader can never be successful, then what kind of racist, Islamophobic, hate-mongering bigots are Barack Obama and Whoopi Goldberg for saying that he's completely wrong? Now, since Muslims in the comments always accuse me of misrepresenting the Islamic position, let's take a look at what Muslim scholars have to say on this issue. On the Islamic scholars site, Islam Q&A, there's an article titled, Ruling on Appointing Women to Positions of High Public Office, where they answer the question, is it legal Islamically to acknowledge females as our leader? Here we go. Praise be to Allah. Positions of leadership and high public office means taking on the mission of establishing Islam by reviving religious knowledge and establishing its foundations, engaging in jihad for the sake of Allah, which includes preparing armies and distributing war booty, establishing the judicial system, carrying out judicial punishments, fighting oppression, enjoining what is good and forbidding what is evil, acting as a deputy of the Prophet, yada yada yada. There is no dispute among the scholars that one of the conditions of the imam or leader is that he should be male. Notice, there is no dispute among the scholars. Ibn Hazm reported in his book Maratib al-Ijma that there was scholarly consensus on this point. Scholarly consensus. In the section he says, out of all groups of the people of the Qibla, i.e. all Muslim sects, there is not one that allows the leadership of women. There is no sect that allows women to be leaders. Al-Qurtubi reported something similar, and Al-Alama al-Shankiti said there is no difference of opinion among the scholars on this point. The evidence for this is the general meaning of the ayah, interpretation of the meaning, Men are the protectors and maintainers of women because Allah has made one of them to excel the other. That's chapter 4, verse 34 of the Quran. It is also clearly indicated by the hadith of Abu Bakr, who said that when the Prophet, yada yada yada, heard that the Persians had appointed the daughter of Khosrow as their queen, he said, "No people who appoint a woman as their leader will ever prosper." That's the hadith I quoted from Bukhari. This is because positions of leadership and government require a person to join men's gatherings, which is not allowed for women according to Sharia because of the ayah, interpretation of the meaning, and stay in your houses and do not display yourselves like that of the times of ignorance. Surah 33, verse 33 of the Quran. These positions also require perfect wisdom, reason, and alertness, and the testimony of a man has been made equal to that of two women, the reason for which Allah has explained in the ayah, interpretation of the meaning, so that if one of the two women whose combined testimony equals the testimony of one man, errs, the other can remind her. Surah 2, verse 282 of the Quran. Imam al-Muwafiq ibn Qudama said, "For this reason, the Prophet, yada yada yada, and his successors, and those who came after them never appointed a woman to be a judge or a governor of a province, as far as we know. If it were permissible, it should have happened." Imam al-Ghazali said, "The position of leader could never be given to a woman, even if she possessed all the qualities of perfection and self-reliance. How could a woman take the position of leader when she did not have the right to be a judge or a witness under most of the historical governments?" Imam al-Baghawi said, "The scholars agreed that women are not fit to be leaders or judges because the leader needs to go out to organize jihad and take care of the Muslims' affairs, and the judge needs to go out to judge between people, but women are awra." Awra usually refers to body parts that need to be kept hidden, so he's saying that women need to be kept hidden, and it is not right for them to go out. Because of their weakness, women are not able to do many things. Women are imperfect, and the positions of leaders and judge are among the most perfect of positions for which only the most perfect of men are qualified. Undoubtedly, this is proven by reality. People know from experience that only men are fit for leadership because women, by nature, are more emotional and more easily swayed by their feelings and compassion. These qualities have been created in women to enable them to carry out their most important duty, which is that of motherhood and nurturing children. Men, on the other hand, are not usually swayed by their emotions as women are. Their way is usually one of logic and deliberation, which form the essence of responsibility and leadership. I can think of another important hadith that supports the position of the scholars. Sahih Muslim 241. It was narrated from Abdullah bin Umar that the Messenger of Allah said, "O women, give in charity and pray a great deal for forgiveness, for I have seen that you are the majority of the people of the fire." A wise woman among them said, "Why is it, O Messenger of Allah, that we are the majority of the people of the fire?" He said, "You curse a great deal and are ungrateful to your husbands. I have never seen anyone so deficient in intellect and religion, more overwhelming to a man of wisdom and reason than you." She said, "O Messenger of Allah, what does deficient in intellect and religion mean?" He said, "As for lacking in intellect, the testimony of two women is equivalent to the testimony of one man. This is deficiency in intellect. And a woman does not perform salat, ritual prayers, for several days, and she does not fast during her menses and Ramadan. This is deficiency in religion." So, women are, by nature, deficient in intellect and religion. This is why Muhammad tells them to give lots of money in charity. They need to try to make up for their shortcomings. Putting all of this together, according to Muhammad and Islam's greatest scholars, women are, by nature, stupid and immoral and inferior to men, and they have no place in leadership. That's why any country that has a woman as a leader is doomed to failure. By contrast, Barak Obama and his greatest scholars, the women on The View, insist that women are superior to men and that if countries would simply let women take over the important leadership positions, they would be entirely successful. What do Muhammad and Obama agree on? They agree that the first criterion of being a successful leader is having a certain gender, which is odd because, as everyone knows, gender is merely a social construct. Now for a few questions. To you, Obama fans, do you agree with Barack Obama's claim that women are better than men and that if countries would simply put women in charge, everything would improve? If so, shouldn't you be horrified by Muhammad's teachings? But you're the people who say that anyone who disagrees with Muhammad is a racist and an Islamophobe. Doesn't that make you, not to mention Mr. Obama and Whoopi Goldberg, a bunch of racists and Islamophobes? To you Muslims, do you agree with Muhammad and your scholars that women are unfit to lead due to their intellectual and moral failings? If so, why aren't you offended when you hear people like Barack Obama thoroughly contradicting your prophet? And what do you think about Muslim women like Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib being elected as leaders? Are they destroying America because of their gender? Final question to leftists and Muslims. Why are you under the delusion that you're on the same side in all of this? I'm asking for a friend.